If you've never owned a Doberman Pinscher before, but you plan on getting one, oh man, you are in for a surprise. And I'm not talking about like a good surprise either. Oh, well, okay, yes, of course there are a few of those. That's why we love this breed, sure. But what I'm really referring to are those bad first-time owner surprises with this breed. You know, bad, like, I don't know, your wife finding your secret me-time spot type of bad. Or finding out that your high school bully just moved in next door to you and grew 3 inches taller since you last saw him. You know, that type of bad. But luckily, there is one way that even first-time Doberman owners will be able to survive. Something where if you do this, especially in that first year owning your Doberman, then all their strong natural behaviors will actually work for you and not against you. What is it? It's consistency. Sounds simple enough, right? But it's really not with these dogs. And what does it even mean? Consistency with what? Consistency with like feeding them or walking them? With what? Well, yeah, sure, but there are actually 4 areas where your consistency is incredibly important with this specific breed, particularly with Dobermans, perhaps more than many other breeds, honestly, and that's what this entire video is about today. How and exactly where to apply this consistency to ensure that you're successful with your first strong-headed, stubborn, but magnificent Doberman Pinscher. The first is having consistency with behavior corrections. The only way you're gonna survive as a first-time Doberman owner is if you have this. But here's the problem with Dobermans. If you lack consistency with correcting their negative behaviors even once, and these dogs are so insanely intelligent that they'll actually remember getting away with that bad behavior, and they'll know that it's possible, and it'll only make your Doberman push harder with this bad behavior in different ways in the future, trying to figure you out and why it was that one time you didn't correct them with this behavior. Look, they're among the top 5 smartest dog breeds in the world, and some studies have even ranked them as the most intelligent dog breed in the world. So yes, they will do this. Okay, as an example, let's just say you get home from work. You're super tired and your Doberman takes their dog bed out in the backyard and runs with it and absolutely is refusing to drop it no matter how many times you call to them. This isn't a stretch of the imagination for Dobermans, and maybe let's say you even chase them around a lot, giving them tons of engagement trying to get that bed back, but you never try too hard, you never really correct them for this behavior, and you know, it's just this one time you kind of toss all the consistency out the window because, well, you're just like really tired from work. Well, boom, there it is. That one time just caught you in a trap because you have a Doberman. This takes a lot of new Doberman owners by surprise because guess who's gonna now remember that and gonna push harder for this and try to, you know, repeat this over and over, hoping that they'll find exactly the formula that they used last time to get you to not reinforce a negative behavior next time. This isn't just a guess about how this breed operates, guys. This is how they work. So don't mess it up here, you newbie Doberman owners out there. And with a Doberman, never ever neglect focusing heavily on leadership in the house and how you interact with your Doberman. You first-time Dobermaners out there, you won't make it through that first year, honestly, if you're not consistent here. In fact, one of my original videos on this channel was all about leadership when raising a Doberman, and I did that video very early on when I launched Doberman Planet because it was just such a critical thing when you're raising this breed, far more critical than with many other dog breeds out there. And if you want to check out that video, which outlines some really simple, cool things you can do every single day to reinforce your leadership in the home, you can actually see that video be popping up right there in the corner of your screen. And also, as a bonus, you'll get to see me juggle for my Doberman Arlo, which is fun also. Yeah, don't end up like that with your dog, please. Why is consistency and leadership just so important with the Doberman breed specifically? Well, because of their natural high levels of dominance and intelligence all mixed together. They will really take advantage of you if they can, and if they see you as an equal instead of someone to look for direction. Everything will be more difficult with this breed if that's the case. You'll actually start seeing them doing things like ignoring commands they know very well, or barking right in your face when they don't like what you're making them do, and just general bad behaviors like jumping up on you and the furniture. And you know, you can forget about things like a good reliable recall or a come command that works every time. And you better get used to leash pulling, that's for sure. And also, if you're seeing your Doberman, by the way, follow directions of one person in the house more reliably than another person, then yeah, you have a leadership problem somewhere. Now, this is really often probably the most difficult part of being successful in raising a Doberman first-time owners because it's like a whole mentality change for some people, one that may not be natural for you. And it's just kind of like interacting with your dog on a daily basis in a way that might be really counterintuitive. Some owners are just naturally great at it and they're good at having those leadership qualities with their Doberman, but other owners just put themselves on their dog's level kind of from the get-go, and they're never seen as anything much more than a litter mate or a playmate. And if that happens, then you'll always struggle with those very rough to handle behaviors. Consistency in your training plan. This is critical for Dobermans, and you can't expect to be successful with your Doberman as a first-time owner without it. And I'll let you guys in on a little secret. Yes, there are training techniques out there that do produce results a little bit better and more reliably for Dobermans versus other techniques. That's absolutely true. But they're so intelligent that the specific technique you pick for training a certain command or a certain behavior, that's far less important than just picking one and staying rock solid consistent with it. That's because if they see you switch up your training plan partway through due to your lack of confidence in what you're teaching, then you're gonna see that dominant headstrong side of the Doberman Pinscher come up, and they'll start pushing you way more. And training will be way more difficult than if you just stuck rock solid consistent here to your initial training techniques rather than switching it up partway through. We aren't training Chihuahuas here, guys. These dogs will see that you switched up your training plan and they will exploit that, trust me. Now, if you want the honest truth, there are people out there that say that they know the only, right way to train a Doberman in some specific command or behavior, and that no other technique out there is correct. The people who do that, honestly, they're completely full of it. And frankly, it really kind of ignores the fact of how insanely intelligent these dogs are, and it ignores the fact that they're one of the most trainable dog breeds in the world. It kind of really sells this breed short. Your Doberman will know what you want when you're training them. Trust me, it's just a matter as if they want to follow your training. It's their drive to complete what you're asking them to do that matters. So just do a little planning before you get your puppy. How are you going to train the commands, potty training, leash training, and basic behaviors? Get just kind of a general idea, pick an approach of how to do these things, and then just stick rock solid to it. Look, when you're raising a strong-willed, high-energy breed like a Doberman, the right daily diet makes a huge difference. That's why we strongly recommend Ollie here at Doberman Planet for Doberman Pinschers everywhere, because they provide fresh, human-grade meals crafted with veterinary nutritionists and meal plans that are customized to your dog specifically. And all these recipes are packed with real high-quality ingredients like you'd eat yourself, and none of those junk fillers. And it really helps keep your Doberman energized and focused throughout the day, and honestly just looking great. That nice, shiny, thick coat. Oh God, that's just so stunning on these dogs. And speaking of consistency, trust me, consistently feeding your Doberman some insanely high-grade food like this, day in and day out, you're really gonna start to see the difference. Like anything else, it'll just build upon itself. So instead of feeding your Doberman some processed kibble with, I don't know, like a 20-year shelf life or something, you're giving them real food, like the same type of stuff you'd feed yourself, and it's designed to help them thrive. This is real Doberman fuel. So if you want to give your Doberman a meal that's worthy of their potential, check out Ollie. Use the link down below in the description to get 60% off your first box so that you can try it out now for just a really phenomenal price. Boundaries. They are so important with a Doberman. First-time owners out there, you will absolutely fail if you don't have consistent, strong boundaries with your Doberman. Are you seeing a pattern here? Yeah, these dogs are pretty headstrong. Now, the worst thing that you can do as a first-time Doberman owner is to communicate to your dog that if they push, a little bit harder, then you'll give in. This is called weak boundaries, and your Doberman will walk all over you if this happens. Now, you want to know where this happens the most with first-time owners? Okay, let's say that you need your dog to be outside in the backyard for a short time for that Zoom meeting. So you walk your Doberman out, you close the door to the backyard and sit down for your Zoom meeting. And your Doberman hates being away from you. Well, hello, this is a Velcro dog. It's a Doberman for you. So, of course, they start barking. You know you shouldn't respond to them and they're barking, but he's not stopping. And your Zoom meeting's starting soon, and he's probably pissing off your neighbors also, so it's just like getting worse and worse. And you just need him to be quiet, so you cave, and you bring him back in to appease him and stop the insanely loud barking just this one time. Well, guess what? Guess who's going to remember that? And guess who's gonna bark even worse next time you're doing something with them that they don't like? Yep. They are that smart. They'll push harder, they'll bark louder, and bark longer next time. Trust me, this is called behavior bursts, and it's when they're trying to get you to break your boundaries by pushing back even harder. And this is how first-time owners of Dobermans often fail, by falling right into this trap. Now, if you want to see how to not only survive, but actually thrive with this notoriously headstrong and intelligent, but yes, truly amazing breed, definitely check out Dobie Masters. It's our new video series here at Doberman Planet on this channel where we train a young Doberman from the ground up so you can actually follow along and see what it's really like raising and training one of these incredibly unique dogs, the Doberman. Just check out our playlist right there. Should be popping up on your screen. And you get to meet Cleopatra and watch as we train her from the ground up and train her owner to make sure that she's successful at becoming the perfect Doberman companion. I'll see you guys over there.